Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Plan, Don't Panic, 20 steps for preparing yourself and your business for COVID-19. All right, let's get started. So, my name is Mark McNulty, and I am a business coach with Action Coach. Been with Action Coach for almost 16 years now. Have survived a lot of ups and downs, including the crash and recession in 2008, 2009, and we're in a new situation. This is a little different, and we'll going to cover 20 points to talk through it. Point number one is communicate. You cannot possibly communicate too much, because where problems start and panic starts, and it's a big part of what we're trying to do, is to avoid panic starting. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt is where the panic and the chaos comes from. So FUD. So we want to communicate as much as possible to keep people from getting too scared, too panicky, and falling apart when it's unnecessary. So we want to do everything we can to avoid FUD. So who should you be communicating with? First of all, your team. Let your team know what's going on. My recommendation at this point, whether or not you are working is still at your business or people are working from your home, you need to communicate with your team at least twice a day. At least twice a day. A lot of my clients are having basically a morning huddle. If you're doing it physically, it's get everybody up and around. But, find an area where you're not all on top of each other. Keep that distance. Separation is key. But talk. If you're working virtual, do that. Even if you're in the office, you can have a virtual huddle. And people can stay in their offices and don't have to jump in a conference room. Avoid conference rooms as much as possible. Get in there. So communicate with your team. What should you be communicating? You should be communicating what you're doing. Remind everybody what your team is doing to keep themselves safe. Anything that you are doing above and beyond what the team is doing to keep your team safe. Anything factual that you've learned. We only pass on facts. There's lots of rumors out. You can go out on the web and the internet and Facebook, all kinds of social media, find all kinds of stuff. Only communicate facts. Facts come from the CDC. Facts come from sometimes our local government, but only communicate facts. But help your team know what you're doing that day. Review it every day, because things you put in place might change. Things that are going on might change. So here's what we're doing today. Even if it's the same as yesterday, go through it. Remind them. Help them. Listen to them. Let them ask questions. So you need to be communicating with your customers. You have to be letting them know. So, my recommendation last week to all my clients was send out an email to everybody in your customer database to let them know what you're doing to protect them, both physically and maybe supply chain wise, and let them know what you're doing for your team as well, so that they know you're being a good steward of resources and a good business owner, a good leader, taking care of your team as well as taking care of your customers. Your networks. Communicate with your networks. Let people know what's going on. I shared this webinar with my networks. And that wasn't just for clients. It was for anybody and everybody who wants to know more about what they can do for their business. It's really critical to know and to communicate. Communicate. Suppliers and stakeholders. Let suppliers know what you're doing. If you have key stakeholders, whether that's investors or anybody that fits into that's a partner with you, let them know what you're doing. Let them know what's going on. Eliminate the uncertainty and the doubt. Insert facts and real information. You need to do this on a regular basis with your team in particular, every day with your customers, every couple of days, and just to make sure they know, and also anytime there's a change. Anticipate and seek feedback. Let people know your questions. Let people know you're open to them. Let people know you're listening. And then your community, let your community know what you're doing. That's part of your networks. But if depending on the type of business and industry you're in, who is your community? Let them know. What are the different ways you can let them know via social media? Of what you're doing. Are you still open for business? Are you open on a limited basis? Are you doing something different? Are you making something different available? Let your community know. This is a situation where you cannot possibly communicate too much. We want to always be looking to reduce FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because that's where everything starts to spiral. So we want to reduce FUD whenever we can. Point number 2, be positive. There is enough negative in the world about this and everything else. We don't need any more. Be a leader. You have a choice. You can choose to participate in growing the fear, making it worse, or you can be a leader and help people through this by being positive. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for what we can't do. We want to focus on what can we do. Communicate and reduce FUD by being positive. It's really, really important, because panic and worry will not help anybody. It won't help you personally. It won't help your team. It won't help your customers. It won't help your community. It won't help your business. It won't help our society. So be positive. Stay above the fray. Don't get into silly arguments on Facebook. Stay out of them. You're not adding to the solution by getting involved. Be that leader that helps. Don't participate in the fear mongering. Be the leader that helps people feel positive. Look for small wins every hour. And I coach this with my clients to look for wins on a daily basis. But now we're looking for little wins, little successes, little things we figured out we could do as often as possible. Your team needs it in particular. Share wins that are with your community, with your, if you figure something out, you come up with a solution to something, share that, let people know, be positive, look for the wins, talk about them, share them, help everybody feel good about the things that we can still feel good about. That's a joke. But what can you do? We don't need to be selling toilet paper. There's enough people doing, hoarding toilet paper. But what can we do? Well, what is our toilet paper that we can get out to the community and help in a positive fashion? Turn off the news. Watching the news constantly is just going to be depressing. It's going to make it really hard to be positive. The news isn't going to change every hour on the hour. So you don't need to be watching it that consistently. Check in with the formal releases, but don't worry about constantly watching, and encourage your team. Turn the news off. Again, it's not going to change on an hourly basis, and the important changes will get to you. Lead your people. They need to know that you are there for them, and that you are working to come up with solutions. You can let them know that you don't have all the answers, but you can also let them know that you're working on the solutions, that you're participating, that you're growing. You're not growing your knowledge base, and that you are plugging yourself into resources that can get you the information so that you and your team can make good choices. Number 3, and this goes back to staying positive, don't argue with the facts. It's a pandemic. It's not a hearsay. It's not a rumor. It's not a hoax. It's not a political statement. It's a medical, mathematical fact. You can either choose to argue about it and participate in those conversations, which go nowhere and just fuel FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or you can just accept that it's a fact and choose to learn the new rules and play to win. Because there are new rules, and we're learning them every day, and sometimes every hour. But it's a choice. The pandemic, the spread, the infection rates are all at this point, it's just a big math game. And what the government is trying to do, and the CDC and the World Health Organization are trying to give us, here's some new rules that will help with the math, because the math is scary when you look at it if we don't take the action. So all the actions that are come out are because of the math of how infections spread. One fact is, do your work, do the absolute minimal required shopping to sustain yourself, and entertain yourself from home. Shop from home when you can. It's difficult for groceries, but be strategic about your groceries. Don't go with a list that's going to make you be in there for an hour with 100 other people. Do a short list, get in, get out. Our distribution methods of our products and services are going to change. You're seeing that with restaurants, they're closed. So it's delivery, it's pickup windows. There's people that didn't have carry out and pickup that are literally cutting holes in walls in their buildings and putting in a window for carry out to make it safe for you and for them. The good news with the food industry is if they are following the standard precautions, the food's going to be safe. If they're getting an A rating for their food safety, their food's going to be safe. They are following proper methods. Think about, what distribution methods of your business do you need to change? I'm going to 100% online coaching, from some face-to-face and some online. We're going all online. So think about what you might need to do. Your supplier and supply chain will change. Guarantee. It's just a fact. I've got a client who is, he's an e-commerce business, great. So nobody ever has to touch. It's easy to have a clean, sterile environment and pack and ship safely. But guess what? He gets his product from China. He hasn't been able to get any product. He got his last shipment in January and likely won't be able to get another shipment until June. So we're looking for alternate suppliers, alternate methods of, once they turn production on, alternate methods of getting things here. It's going to cost us more to sell to get product out the door. Our margins are going to go down, but we'll have to be overnighting thing. We'll have to be express shipping from China instead of slow boating from China, because he's running out of inventory, and that's just going to up his costs. We're not going to raise his prices, but it's just a fact. And so we're working with alternate supply. We're looking for domestic suppliers for a few of his things. There's some domestic alternatives. We'll switch to them. They're not the same level of quality and certainly not the price we can do, but we're going to switch to them for a while. There are supply chain disruptions. That is a fact. And their ability to supply you, their ability to get things to supply to you has been impacted. Deal with it. Figure it out. Talk to your key suppliers. Find some alternatives. Figure out what you can do. Another fact, this chapter is going to be months long. The quarantine at home is not going to be months long, but the pandemic impact is going to last a while. Then after that, the recession chapter, the economic downturn chapter, will be some months longer than that. It's a fact. Plan for it. But these are chapters. These are not going to be multi-year events. But our response to the pandemic needs to account for the fact, and just the fact that it's going to last 2-3 months. It just is. We may not be locked down for 2-3 months, but the pandemic part of the impact on our business is going to be 2 or 3 months long. And then the recession after that. The good news about the recession chapter is that there's nothing fundamentally broken with the economy like there was in 2008, where there were multiple poor parts of our economy and our financial systems that just broke. That hasn't happened this time. We know exactly what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and it's just going to take some time to unwind. Different industries will unwind from the recession faster than others. Hospitality, tourism will be the last ones to recover, most likely. But they will recover, and this recession is unlikely to be as deep or as long, but it will be months long, not days or weeks long. Number 4, change, and the speed of change is always uncomfortable, and you have to step up and address it. You not only have to get out of your comfort zone right now, you have to get a bigger comfort zone. You not only have to think outside the box, you need to get, usually I tell people get a bigger box, but with this pandemic, it's something none of us have been through before. You don't just need a bigger box, you might need a whole new box to live in, work in, and play in. None of us are comfortable with change. Get comfortable with it. Because it's another one of those facts. Get ahead of the change. Be thinking proactively. Don't be thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do if this lasts for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks? Get ahead of it. Think about what do you need to do? What do you need to do to change? What can you do to adapt? Be thinking ahead. Lead the change. Help your team. Help your customers and suppliers. Help your community. And remember, this is our formula for change. D times V plus F has to be greater than R. D is dissatisfaction. V is vision. R is resistance to change. Help your team deal with change. Help your customers get through change. Help your community get through change. What are we dissatisfied with? What's our vision for how we could do it differently now, short term? So now we're dealing with short-term change. It's coming at us really fast. Some of it we control, some of it we can't. Think about the worst case. Get in there and plan for change. Be proactive. Think about what is it about your products, your services, your pricing, your delivery methods, your staffing. All of those are areas you need to think about. What do I need? What do I need to change? What will change whether I like it or not? What can I change? What can I add? What can I do differently? You need to be looking and making a plan for what am I going to do in each of these areas. The whole business. Is the business going to have to change? I've got a client who buys from China and sells into the Caribbean. 100% reliant on tourism and travel. We're looking at what can we don't have a solution yet, but we're looking at what can we do to change his whole business model. We might need to pick up some different product lines. We're looking to see what can we pick up and add to our product line that makes sense, that people will be able to use without going to a beach or a reef to snorkel. There are businesses and industries that may need to change dramatically. Think about what does that mean for you, short term, long term, and break it. If you need to break things apart, break it up, do it. Do it on your terms. Do it before the pandemic, before the government, before circumstances break it for you. Break it, change it the way you want to. Save resources. Everything from cash, and we'll talk about cash further in a minute, to your personal energy needs to be managed, leveraged, not squandered, not gambled with. Decrease your risks. Cash is king. Manage your cash. Spend as little cash as possible. If you've got a line of credit, use it. Credit's still good. If you're not tapped into all your credit, go find out how much more you can get. Stop spending on discretionary things. And by the way, sales and marketing is not discretionary. Come back to what you should do there, but that doesn't mean cancel all your marketing. People will still need your services. People still need to know you're out there. You might need to change your marketing, but don't kill it. If you were looking to hire, unless you have the work confirmed that you can do it, and your model says you need more capacity and that you have, don't hire anymore. Get by with what you can. You're planning an expansion, don't do it. Put it off. New website, put a halt on it. Unless your current website is just broken. But figure out what you can stop spending money on that is discretionary, that is growth, because now we're in save the business mode versus grow the business for most industries. There are some industries where this will be a great growth opportunity. Most, it'll be a save and manage resources right now. Renegotiate terms. I've got some clients, we're going to our landlords and working on reduced rent for the time being, versus shutting down and no rent. So renegotiate terms with suppliers. Some of our suppliers, we're going back and looking for terms, see if we can get better terms, short term, so that we can conserve cash. They're going to try to do the same thing, but that's okay. Get out ahead of it. Payment terms. Slow things down. To conserve your cash, become a little bit of the slow payer. Postpone improvements. Postpone things. Really, really manage your resources daily, weekly, monthly. Look at every bill and ask yourself, do I need to pay this today or can I pay it next week? Slow the flow of cash down out of your business. Keep marketing and selling. You may need to shift your marketing message for the short term, but don't stop. Be compassionate about your selling. Concept I learned a little bit about this morning in another conference call. If you can still help people, you still need to help them learn how you can help. But don't be the used car salesman and panic and try to sell. Be compassionate about your selling. People are hurting and people are scared. That doesn't mean they don't need products and services. They do. But again, focus on your message. Use your credit. Money is cheap. They're making a ton of it available. If you have credit, use it. Save your cash. Because other people's money is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Get it now while they're still lending. If you've got loans you can refinance, do it. On the personal side, mortgage rates have dropped significantly. If you can lower your payments, put more cash in the bank, do it. Use your credit lines, credit cards as much as possible. Find low interest rate cards, shift balances, look for opportunities to not spend your cash. And that goes for personal as well. Refinance. Any debt you've got that you can refinance, do it. Rates are great, rates are low. Get in now, save your cash. Call your banker, call your mortgage person, find the lowest rates as soon as possible before the money supply starts to tighten again. There is money out there, go get it. Staffing, this is a big one. This is tough. This is hard. You add employees when you grow, you subtract employees when you contract. That's how business works. You are unlikely to be in a growth mode right now. So again, hiring freeze, raise freeze, bonus freeze. Conserve cash. Don't make commitments on when raises will come or when bonuses will come because you don't know when. Just promise to keep communicating with them, and that you'll, if you owe them, if you have commitments to them, you'll do it when they can. But losing people, letting them go. If they have vacations, encourage them to use their vacations now. Sick time. Talk about, and with vacations and sick time, This is one of those things to talk to the team about and let them know that here's how we're doing this today. It might change tomorrow. The government's doing some, going to be coming out with some regulations around sick pay and sick time, and that you'll be obligated to adhere to. So just keep talking to your team. If you do need to do layoffs, just do them. Figure out now, do I need to lay anybody off? If so, just do it. Do it all at once. Don't do one this week and then one next week. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Do it. It's just part of the business cycle, and there's just nothing you can do about it. If you have to do it, do it. You're not doing anybody any favors by trying to see if you can hang on a little longer, because you put everybody at risk. Layoffs hurt. I've had to lay people off. It's never fun. It's never easy. But you have to be thinking about the long term and protecting as many employees as you can, and your family, and your business, and your customers. You have to do it, just do it. Other options that I've talked about are pay cuts, either cut hours or cut pay. That's one depending on the size of your team, it might be discuss it with your managers, with your team. Which would they prefer? Would they all prefer a 20% cut in hours? If cutting hours is possible, or if you've got work and you've got 40 hours, then it's 20% pay cut versus laying anybody off. You have to be able to face that. Another thing that some people are doing, split shifts as part of fewer hours. They're getting split shifts. It also separates people more, makes the workplace a little bit safer by spreading out the work. And it can help with, again, not having to let people go. Your business is an entity. Yes, it's made of people and that, but your business needs to survive, and you need to do it. If your business is important to your customers and your community and your employees and your family, yourself, you need to protect your business. It needs to survive. Do what you have to do. Just make a decision and do it quickly. Don't trickle it out and hurt morale any more than cuts and change like this make in the first place. Operationally, think about what needs to be changed. Smaller companies can pivot faster. So if you're a smaller company, you can pivot faster. What is it that you see that your customer base needs? What technology do you need to pivot? Do you have all the technology? If not, go get it. Things are getting cheaper. Meetings and reporting. How do you change? One of my clients is they're going more virtual, so they're buying some cameras for everybody so they can do video. So make sure everybody's got a video camera, a webcam on their computer at home, so that they can do that. And then they're scheduling meetings. So changing how meetings, more frequent, short, specific meetings. Customer service. What do you need to change about how you communicate with your customers and provide service, whether it's returns or answering phones? Can you route phones to home? Can you route phones to cell phones? What are you doing? So each of these areas of your business, think about how can you change it. What are you doing about banking and money? If you get checks in, what do you need to do operationally to pick up the checks and get them to the bank? Communication in general. What are the new ways we're going to communicate? WhatsApp groups are great. A lot of clients using WhatsApp groups. We've started a private Facebook group for our clients for sharing information as it comes out. Remember, you need to be thinking it could be weeks or months before you can operate the way you were operating in February. So be thinking about all the different aspects of your operation and what needs to change and what do you need to get in place, new processes, systems, training that can support your team, your business, your customers for weeks or months. If there's any way you can deliver online or through delivery, you can sell, order online, do it now. Obviously, restaurants are doing that, but what else can you do online? If you never delivered before, add it. There's a lot of, here in Louisville, a lot of tour bus companies with a lot of tour operators and buses sitting empty now. So so maybe they can partner up with one of them. Maybe they can deliver for you. Maybe they have, use those community resources. If you don't have, add online delivery, phone, staff appropriately for those. Again, you don't have to add people. There's a lot of hospitality and tourism companies and workers with unused capacity right now. What can you do to partner up with them? If people can't come to you, then you go to them, either physically or virtually. Do it in a safe way. Keep that distance, but make delivery of your products and services. Talk to your customers. Keep let them know what you're doing. Let them know how you're making delivery safe. Marketing. People and businesses are still buying, and they're either going to buy from you or from someone else. So you must keep marketing. However, the message will likely have to change. WIIFM, what's in it for me? So you need to think about your marketing message. So if you're changing your products or services, or you're changing how you deliver your products or services, your marketing might need to change. The reason why somebody should hire you now might be different than the reason that somebody should hire you a month ago. People need a coach now to help them navigate through the next 90 days to survive. People aren't going to be hiring me as their coach in the next 90 days to help them grow their business. It's going to help them survive the pandemic and then the economic downturn that follow, that will linger on after the pandemic chapter has closed. So the what's in it for me is different. It doesn't change the fact that people need help. People need advisors. People need guides. People need your products and services. If they don't still need your products and services, you need to pivot to something else. Increase your offerings. Increase your marketing. Some of your competition will decide to cut costs and cut marketing. This is a great time to increase your market share, because some of your competitors will not be marketing appropriately or won't change their message. I'm still getting email marketing from people that it's obviously automated, and they haven't stopped to think that the message what they've been trying to sell me for the last month isn't something I need anymore. And I do know for a fact they have something else that they could be offering me that I do need, and they haven't changed their automated marketing. Look at your marketing, anything that's automated. But what is your website? Update your websites. We just added a COVID-19 page to our website where we're going to share information, and I'm going to share links to all my webinars that I'm going to be doing. Create new offers, new rates, new packages. Measure your 5 ways. Keep track of your leads, your conversion rate. Pick new strategies for getting leads. Can't go to networking events anymore. Okay, create online networking. Participate in online networking. Have virtual coffee meetings. Your existing customers know you, like you, love you. Talk with them. Help them. Help them understand how you can keep working with them, what you can do for them at this point. Talk to them. What do they need? And help them get it, either from you or from somebody else. Be the solution to their new problem. You were the solution to their old problem. Talk to them and figure out what's their new problem and become part of the solution for the new problem. Offer bulk buys, cash up front. That's one of the things we're doing with a couple of my businesses that have some inventory. We're offering bulk buys. If somebody does have cash they want to spend, we'll make them a deal, and we'll conserve the cash, and that'll get us through. And then we'll buy inventory when it comes time to do that. Do whatever you can to keep your customers. And the biggest thing is figure out what it is they need right now and help them see how you can be part of the solution to their new problem, because they have a new problem. Their problem space has changed just like yours has. Help them. Communicate, communicate, communicate. For new business, needs still exist. Be sure to get that. We're all challenged. Your competition will be challenged. You're on this call. You're on other calls. You're educating yourself. They're not. What's in it for me? Help them solve their new problem. Help them see that you can not only solve their old problem, which will come back in the future, but you're also a part of the solution for the new problem. And teach them how to do business with you in a way that benefits them in the crisis. And then you can shift back to our regular station, our regular programming when we come out the other end. Again, communication and what you're communicating. Figure out what it is your market needs. Or are there new markets that didn't need your services before that, hey, now that there's a pandemic, there's new markets that might need your services. Use common sense and show compassion, right? We're all still human. Over-deliver on customer service. Over-deliver, over-deliver, over-deliver. Serve your client base, your community. On the common sense side, clean, don't touch. I'm thinking of buying stock in the hand lotion companies because I've washed my hands with soap and water and used antiseptics more than I have in a long time. So my skin's dry. But you know what? I'm keeping clean. I'm not touching other people's things. I'm not touching my face without knowing that my hands are clean first. Use common sense. Provide sanitizer if you can get your hands on some. It's tough. It will get easier to get it soon. Put people first. Be nice, relax. Going back to what we said early on, be positive. Help eliminate FUD in your world and the world around you. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Don't feed into the panic. Don't participate in that. Back out of it. Some things aren't going to change. So what will stay the same? Right? The weather. Weather's going to stay the same. So seasonal needs will stay the same. For many. Things are going to break. Tradespeople, things are going to break. People are going to get sick. Cars are going to break. So those needs aren't going away. People eat. Yes. They will still need food. What are all the ways that you can serve these people? So think about your industry. What are the needs in your industry? Think about the next 3 months. Is there a seasonal aspect to it? Maybe. So a couple construction companies I work with, we're basically saying that, so we're looking at, hey, the weather is going to get better. We can't do a lot right now. Even if there was no pandemic, this is the wet season. It's hard to do a lot of heavy equipment work in the mud. That's going to dry up. We need to plan for it. The types of projects might change though. So we need to be in the mode of winter projects with summer weather. Winter projects are the ones that in the construction industry that you take at a lower margin because you want to have the work to keep your team going. So you bid on stuff you normally wouldn't bid on in the summer. But if it's work you can do in January and February, Hey, great, awesome. It'll keep the guys busy, everybody getting a paycheck, and it helps. So we're coming into summer weather where there'll be the possibility to do a lot of work, but we're in the winter bidding mode because we bid on projects differently for winter projects. So we're paying attention to the things that aren't going to change and adjusting the things that are. Think about your industry. What needs are not going to go away? And focus on those. In your own business, what stays the same? What's different? Got to understand that some things will have to change, but some won't. So what's going to stay the same? What won't change? So many opportunities, if you have money, so many opportunities with money when you have it, and it's really tough when you don't. If you've seen a recession before, this one won't be as deep as 2008, won't be as long, because because our banking system didn't crash. It's going to be harsh, but it's going to be over far sooner than the last one. So anything you learned in 2008, 2009, apply it now. Do the same thing. If you have cash for investing, and I've got some clients who do, talk to your financial advisors. Now might be a good time to buy. Money is cheap now. It's cheap and it's plentiful. Get to the front of the line if you need some. Go get it. And if you don't have money today, remember to save next time. This is why we're always trying to put some of the profit away, not just spend it all. This is why we put some by for the rainy day, because this is the ultimate rainy day. For your team, your leverage is in your team. Are you helping them or are you hurting them? Again, can't make this point enough. Communicate, 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 over-communicate. And the reality is you can't possibly over-communicate. But make it positive, make it helpful, make it factual. Make it timely. Make it calm, cool, and collected. Advise, direct, lead your team. They're looking to be led right now. They're looking for you. They're looking to you to be out ahead of this for them. And to be planning ahead, not just for tomorrow, but what about next week? What about next month? What about the next 3 months? You've got to be thinking about that. You've got to be communicating. There is no system for dealing with the pandemic. There's no rule book. There's no process that you can just download from the internet and do it. You have to figure it out for your team, your clients, your community, your particular instance of your business in your industry. You have a few leaders in your business. If you've got team and you've probably got lots of followers. Followers without leaders are called lemmings, and they'll follow each other off the cliff. Be that leader communicator that they can follow. Because if you don't, they will all just walk into the abyss together. Have compassion. This is not the time to be ruthless, right? There are many people that it's going to be worse for. And they don't have people to learn from. They don't have leaders who are educating themselves on what to do, that are out there learning how do I get better. So many more, and there are industries that are just going to be destroyed, some for years. Tourism might take a year to 2 years to get fully back. Who wants to volunteer to go on a cruise a year from now? I won't. Cruise industry, tourism, the beaches, restaurants, hotels, convention business. It's going to take a while. And have empathy. Listen to your team. Listen to your customers. Slow down. There's nothing that can be rushed here. Slow down and listen. Once you have a plan, execute fast. But when it comes to people, slow down, listen. Give them your attention. Be calm. Be that leader, be that calming influence on the people around you. Eliminate FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you've got time, read more about human psychology. Find a book on how people think. Find a book on fear and overcoming fear. Find a book on happiness. Learn more about how people process fear and grief. There's going to be some people that come out of this with symptoms of PTSD. Because this is going to be a traumatic situation for some people. Learn about that. Learn about how that affects people. Learn about simple ways you as a leader can help them. Create a plan. Anxiety grows in the lack of a plan. So take these points and start creating a plan. What is your 90-day plan? I'll talk in a minute about something we're doing next week to help you with that. But when there is no plan, this is where anxiety grows. What do we do next week? What do we do this weekend? What do we do next month? You have to have a plan. It has to be short term. Really, you need, the next 90, 75, 90, 100 days. What are we going to do? What's our plan for marketing? Got to have a marketing plan. What's our message? What are we going to do sales-wise when there are fewer leads? Because they're like, for many industries, businesses, there likely will be fewer leads. So what are we going to do to sell to sell better? Have a higher conversion rate. How are we going to maintain our operations with less revenue? Where are we going to cut? Where can we cut without hurting our customers, without hurting our team? And where there's opportunity to invest. I've got another client that we're going to go ahead with a purchase. This is one where the money will never be cheaper ever, and it's an opportunity that if we don't grab it now, probably won't be there in 60 days. And it's fully leveraged, and we can do it safely and without taking cash from current operations. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Because there's just an opportunity that's just too good to pass up, and we're going to use other people's money to take the opportunity. Don't procrastinate. Learn, plan, act. Procrastination is what happens when we try to be perfect, and that leads to regret that we didn't do it, that we didn't do it better. None of us have been through a pandemic before, so we will make mistakes. Fail fast. Make mistakes fast. Do things. Learn from it. So do what you can to educate yourself, make a plan, act, pay attention to your results, learn from your results, replan, and act again. You just keep doing that. Don't wait for the perfect solution. In this instance in particular, but in life in general, there is no perfect solution. Act now, pay attention, feed back the results into your plan, replan, learn, relearn, keep acting. You probably know enough to come up with a plan. You're just hoping for more clarity. It's going to be a while before there's more clarity. So take the clarity that you have today, what you know today, and make a plan. But just know and let your team know, hey, this plan might change every day. And that's okay. But it's the plan right now. If we learn something new, we'll change the plan and roll it out. You could sit down in a few hours, create an action plan. Create your own deadlines. Put a schedule to it. Turn lemons into lemonade. Lead. So some ideas, some things you can do, and then I'll open it up. And then if you got questions, go ahead and type them into that chat box. And I'll unmute everybody here in a minute as well. Next Friday, the 27th. Normally that's our half-day growth club, 90-day planning workshop where we all get in a big room and work on our plans. That's not a good idea. So what we're changing to is we are going to do a 2.5 to 3 hour workshop, 90-day planning workshop on the web, and it's going to be free. Normally it's $100. It's going to be free for everybody. So you'll find it. Give us a little bit for Liz. Liz didn't know I was going to make it free for everybody. So give us about 30 minutes to change the link, but go to actioncoachbluegrass.com/events and sign up for the 90-day pandemic business plan webinar on March 27th. It'll be 8 to 10:30 that morning, and we'll work on this together. I'm going to be setting up bi-weekly education calls. Actually, I should say weekly. Bi-weekly for clients, weekly for everybody, once a week for everybody else. Follow us on Facebook so that you can get the times and dates and links to the calls I'm setting up. It's just basically going to be an hour call in where we'll talk about what's going on. We'll brainstorm together. We'll work together to solve problems and talk. If you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com, Action Coach Bluegrass, follow us, then you'll see the announcements that come out. And then third is leverage us as your coaching firm. Right now is not the time to hire a coach to help you grow, but it might be the time to help you in your business, a hiring coach to help you put a plan in place, execute your plan, and come out of this faster than your competition, in better shape than your competition, and then we can start working on the growth activities. The last thing I want to offer, and I'm going to unmute everybody now. Don't see any questions in the question box. Got a question? I've got you unmuted. But if you would like to sit down with me for 90 minutes and do a diagnostic on your business, call that number, 502-625-5646. Do that. I've got some time set aside. Is free of charge, and we'll do a diagnostic on your business and see what it is we can do for you right now if you need that, if you want that help. All right, no questions, so I am going to go ahead and free up some bandwidth for the world to use and end the meeting. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and reach out to us. Let us know if there's any way we can help you. Thank you, everybody.